Good morning once more. This is probably the second day we are having the session. For those of you who missed yesterday, I did give out the course outline in terms of the expectations of topics that will be covered during the term. I also gave out the outline in terms of the requirements which you will have in terms of assessments, the number of tests, and the number of assignments. Is it? In case you missed out, we said probably people write 3 assignments and then 2 tests. Okay, those assignments will be given, I think maybe starting next week. Okay, so that people can start getting busy. We did start in terms of the topics. One of the topics that we started looking at was definition of concepts, isn't it? Then in that class, we described generally what history is all about. The concepts we are defining are history, philosophy, and education. And then saying that this topic will help us understand what the subject is about. I did mention that your course is a combination of 2 courses. The first part being history, and the second part being philosophy. The history part, as we know, history pays attention to the past events of human activities. In this particular case, our interest would be to look at the past events with regard to the education system. Okay. So the history part will be looking at how the education system has evolved from the time it started to where it is now. Okay. And that, in order for us to do that successively, it means that we'll look at various trends, various policies, and decisions which have been made in the education system from the time it started to where it is this particular time. That is the historical part. Of course, considering the fact that you're intending to become a teacher, in order for you to work effectively as a teacher, you need to understand, of course, teachers, the primary objective of the teacher is to serve the education system. So in order for you to understand the system, the education system, you probably have to pay attention to various factors which has contributed in its process of development from the time education started up to where we are now. Okay, so that is the history part. Then the philosophy part. The philosophy part will give us various theories, recommendations in terms of methods of teaching and learning, which were proposed by various philosophers who will pay attention to through this particular course. Okay. Yesterday, we did start defining philosophy. From its etymological definition, we did say philosophy is a combination of 2 words. The first word being philos, and the second, Sophia. Okay. Then we did say philos implies what? It implies what?
Love.
Love. And then second word, Sophia?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. So we did say that philosophy can be defined as the love of wisdom. Okay. So ordinarily, the course is aimed at producing a teacher who is wise. Okay. So in today's class, we'll probably proceed by having more understanding to the word philosophy. Okay. We have defined philosophy as philosophy has been defined as love of wisdom. Okay. Now, the nature of philosophy is basically analysis, analyzing concepts so that they are fully understood. Do you know what analysis is? What is to analyze something? What is to analyze? Yes, sir. To simplify something. Yes, my friend there. To talk about something. That is the very nature of philosophy. Philosophy, whenever you're doing philosophy, one of your primary duties will be to analyze. Okay. To analyze is to break down the concept into its simplest elements so that it is fully understood. Okay. If I want to know you, for example, by this time we're all almost strangers, isn't it? We're strangers to each other. If I need to know you, I'll probably apply the principle of analysis. Okay. I'll break you down into the simplest components which makes up you. Then I'll be able to understand you. Isn't it? Who can we use, madam? Okay. What are the things that can make you know a person? You probably know their name, isn't it? The age, where they come from, their parents, isn't it? The tribe, nationality, all those are simple elements which makes up something. Okay, that is what analysis is. So, and that is the method we are going to be using in this subject. So, for us to understand philosophy itself, we're going to use analysis. So, we've said philosophy is the word, or it is a word which has two Greek words in itself. It has been formulated from two Greek words. The first word is philos, meaning love. The second word, Sophia, meaning wisdom. Therefore, philosophy is defined as the love of wisdom. So the second part of understanding that is before we go to the second part, are we fully satisfied with that understanding? Yes. Philosophy is the love of wisdom. Does it mean that you understand what philosophy is? What is wisdom? That is the second question which is coming. In order to ensure that you have understood the fact that philosophy is the love of wisdom, you need to answer the question, what is wisdom? What is wisdom? Do you have wise people in here? Any wise individual? Yes, boss. What is wisdom? We always use these words. He's not wise. No, this one is wise. What does that imply? Yes? Truth. Okay. Wisdom can be defined as truth. What does that mean? Yes, yes, yes.
Knowledge. The knowledge someone have to use is the knowledge someone have to do something or the ability to do something.
It says knowledge. There's there.
Wisdom is okay, just right. It's the knowledge that we don't have because I think it's in more natural knowledge
Natural knowledge. Okay. Because there's no school where you go to. Have you ever seen the programs just offering at University of Zambia or CBU? Or even activities? Is there a diploma in wisdom? There's no such a course, isn't it? What is your take? You had your hand up on the middle. You have the same brain.
Okay, just the different explanation. But I just the reasoning. So I wanted to say the knowledge that was born with minus acquired.
Knowledge that you're born with minus acquiring.
So what given your
God-given knowledge. Okay. Yes?
Before you go any further, there is this another nutrient which is coming in, which is knowledge. So first, I would like someone to correct for me knowledge from wisdom.
Okay. So, our brother here wants us to clarify that is knowledge and wisdom the same thing? Is knowledge and wisdom the same thing? They are not the same thing. So, wisdom, being wise, does not imply one has good knowledge. One can have knowledge without wisdom. But every wise person has some knowledge. Okay. Not all knowledgeable people are wise. But all wise people are what? Knowledgeable. Okay. Do you know what the meaning of that is? Okay, it means that knowledge can be acquired. You can go to school, you get your diploma, you get your degree, you get your master's degree, you become knowledgeable. Okay. But that doesn't make you wise. Wisdom is something else. Okay. So, we have defined philosophy as the love of wisdom. According to him, he did say that wisdom implies truth. Yes. Conference center. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, sorry about that. So trying to say that wisdom is something else. Okay. Wisdom is truth. That is what philosophers define wisdom to be. Wisdom is equated to truth. Okay. Do you have truth people in here? Or only liars? Which group, which category do you have? Anyone who's truthful? Everyone is scared. Only two people are truthful. Are you sure? Okay. What is truth? What is truth? I want truth people to answer that question. What is truth? What is truth? Those are words that you use every day, is it? How do you use them? Yes? Being honest. Yes? Yes?
I don't know how to explain it. What's the correspondence between the mind and reality?
What is that supposed to imply? What is that supposed to imply? Okay. He did his research. Okay. All the answers he's giving are correct. Truth is the correspondence between the mind and reality. Okay. What is this? What is this? Why is it a marker? Why is it a marker? Because the concept of the marker that you have in the mind is corresponding to the object which is being perceived. Okay. The same applies to this. What is this? It's a phone. Why is it the phone? Because the concept that you have is corresponding to this. Okay. That is what truth is. You understand, isn't it? So when they say philosophy is the love of wisdom, and then wisdom is truth, and truth is a correspondence between reality and the mind, it probably tells you that philosophy wants you to be truthful, okay, to stand for what is right, to stand for reality, okay. All right, we have defined philosophy, okay, as the love of wisdom. Wisdom implies truth, and truth implies correspondence between mind and reality. Now, it's not every knowledge, it's not every mind which can be able to correspond to some outside reality and call it truth. Okay. Suppose you never come across the concept that this is a marker, but probably where you're coming from, what you know this, maybe you know it as a fish. Okay. That is what your mind is, isn't it? Now, does that, the fact that you know that this is a phone, for example, does it make it a phone? Because there's that correspondence, isn't it? Does it make it a phone? It doesn't. Okay. Okay. So what we're saying is that the mind we are talking about should be an informed mind. The mind which has received right information, not the mind which is deceived. Come in, madam. Fine. DBS 11. Yeah.
Was it the one?
Combined with others.
Okay, because of the name of the son. And the new person that has joined, because I don't know if it's ready to be class now. Okay, it's going to get the phone. So class was please take notes another bachelor and you put him on one side. Bachelor, sorry, your business. I'm sorry, bachelor business. Which the class was bachelor business? Yes.
Okay, so basically, those are that is the understanding of philosophy. At least we've tried to simplify it. We've tried to analyze it so that we exactly understand what we are going to be doing in this class. Okay, it's we're going to remove the general assumptions which people have. Remember, I was asking things that we already know, isn't it? What is truth? We use the word truth almost every day. Okay, we try to define it. We failed. We use the word wisdom every day, isn't it? We try to define it. We couldn't, isn't it? We're going to apply the same method that I said, analysis. So the very nature of philosophy is analytical. Okay. Philosophy is analytical, it is systematic, it is consistent, and then it is logical. Those are the key principles of philosophy. Systematic, analytic, logical, consistent, and objectivity. And objective. Being objective is to present things as they are without any biasness, without any is it showing of is it or expressing of feelings, okay, or without feelings influencing the description of what you want to describe. Okay, that is what philosophy does. And then as a teacher, that is the type of a teacher I would want you to become. A teacher who stands for the truth, a teacher who is objective, a teacher who is analytical, a teacher who is systematic, a teacher who is consistent as well as logical. Okay. Not a teacher who is disorganized, a teacher who is what? Confused. Okay, you've seen teachers before, isn't it? You can even start remembering, now I understand why Mr. So-and-so was behaving like that. Because he was not logical, okay? He was confused, okay? Don't add up to the list of pathetic teachers that have saved the education system, isn't it? We want to produce professionals who are competent and conversant in their specialization. Teachers who are not contradicting themselves. Okay. I may push questions. Mafunzo. Any questions? Yes, sir.
What does the term systematic mean in reference to a teacher?
systematic. The word systematic, anyone with the answer? What does the word systematic imply? Yes, madam? Okay. Okay, that is good. Systematic comes from the word system, which probably implies following the orderly way of doing things. Okay. Doing things in a manner which is acceptable. Doing things in a manner which is consistent. Right, so a teacher is required to have those elements. So we look at relevance of philosophy to a teacher. Okay, so we're now looking at the relevance of philosophy to a teacher. So probably among, try to pay attention to about 8 or 9 or 10 elements which we can be able to attribute to as relevance of philosophy to your teacher. Of course, the first element will be based on the things that we have already studied about. The first element states philosophy helps the teacher to be analytical. Okay. We've already described what analysis is. So philosophy helps the teacher to be analytical with regard to issues affecting the education system. It helps you to be analytical with regard to the way you're going to handle your learners and your lessons. Okay. It says to make a trainee teacher become critical, reflective, disciplined, and a logical thinker on fundamental issues. So philosophy helps you as a teacher to be logical, to be critical, as well as to be reflective, to be disciplined on fundamental issues affecting the education system as well as humanity in general. Okay. It makes you conscious. Now, being conscious is not just about you being alive. Okay. Some people are alive, but they're not conscious. Okay. Consciousness also applies to the deliberate understanding of what is happening, what is going on. Okay. It is just not about breathing and walking. Okay. That is physical consciousness. Okay. Now there is rational or intellectual consciousness. Okay. Where the mind is deliberately has deliberately paid attention to understand what is going on. Okay. Things should not be able to take you by surprise. The reason they say, you know why we come to school? Why do we come to school? That is the very reason why we come to school. You don't know. I'll call your parents, I'll tell them. These people I have brought here, they don't know what they are. Yes. To acquire knowledge. Yes, madam? The same. Yes. To build up the career. Okay. Okay. um, when they're advertising for a job position, okay, they usually give even qualifications which a person should have, isn't it? You find that even within the organization, there may be people already, but the company decides to go and advertise, then to go and advertise in the newspaper, okay, on radio, on TV. Why not just picking from the people already? Okay, what is the reason? The reason is that the particular position requires a person with sufficient knowledge, who can be able to read, who can be conscious of what is going on in the organization. That is what the education system tries to bring into our minds, okay? To deliberately use our ability to reason, okay? And it becomes so difficult. It is deliberate use of reasoning has become a very difficult thing for the majority of people in society, isn't it? People feel lazy just to think, just to reason, isn't it? They want to be forced. That is a natural element, isn't it? Everyone is born with rationality. It should not be forced on us to use our own inborn ability. Okay, the second, so we've said the first is to make a trainee teacher become a critical, reflective, disciplined, and logical thinker on fundamental issues facing humanity. We also did say that philosophy helps the teacher to become analytical, isn't it? Then we'll proceed. Third, we can say to make a trainee teacher develop critical mindset on issues affecting the education system. Continuation, that is the next one, to make a trainee teacher develop an analytical mind on issues affecting the education system. Of course, we've talked about that. Then fourth, to make a trainee teacher become ethical in their responsibilities. Okay. As we proceed, you'll be able to realize that we'll come to what is called branches of philosophy, where we'll be able to look at specific specialization of philosophy. One of them is ethics. Ethics has to do with the ability to make choices, to choose what is right to be done and what is bad to be avoided. Okay. So philosophy will help you as a teacher to develop those ethical values. We call them ethical values. Okay. The do's and don'ts of being a teacher. Okay. Teachers, of course, world